Hi, my name's Christine Lange, and I'm with the National Park Foundation in Washington, D.C. And I'd like to share with you some lessons learned while I was trying to build a custom connector from Wrike, the task management software, to Outlook, or adventures in trying to build a custom connector. So what was the big goal? So what I was trying to accomplish is creating a notification that would be sent to requesters when their task in Wrike was completed. So Wrike is a task management software, and not all of our employees have access to the program directly. Instead, they go to a SharePoint form where they fill out information about the task that they need, and then that actually goes into Wrike, and it creates a form that's then assigned to a data team member such as myself. And then when I complete that task, I check it off in Wrike, but currently there are no automatic notifications to people who are not already within the Wrike system. So for those people using that SharePoint form, they trust that we're completing those jobs, or they'll reach out to us directly. So I was trying to build a custom connector that would automatically send an email to the requester when their job was marked as completed. So I sat down, I made my process map, I jotted down notes around potential pitfalls, trying to think ahead a couple of steps. And then I also tried to go make sure that all of the pieces I needed were there. Did Wrike have an open API? Within the API documentation, could I actually navigate to the part of the system that I needed that would house that information about the requester with their email address? So you can see here I've got Wrike, I've got my folder tree, and then I was using the Postman app and Visual Studio Code app to then be able to actually work with the API documentation to actually create the information that I needed to go and find that data from Wrike. So then, how is it going? Well, as you can see, test failed, test failed, test failed. So I felt really good when I was setting everything up in Postman. I was really proud of myself for how I was digging into this API documentation. And then when I tried to translate it into Power Platform, into the flow, I realized that there were some unexpected problems. So first off, trying to set up my authentication was very complicated. And so ultimately I decided that that would be a piece that I would save for, to get help with from someone much more knowledgeable than myself. And so I just kind of focused on creating a proof of concept. And so I basically created a fake response. I was pretending that the API call had gone out and was sending data back. And so I had a JSON file that mimicked that response. And then I was trying to build the flow to actually go read that response and to be able within the response itself to tease it out, that email address and also the job number and some other pieces to be able to create that notification in Outlook. And so I didn't get very far before I just kept kind of going in circles, realizing that I could not get to my email address within the information that was available to me in Wrike. And that's finally at the point when I reached out to my resources. And they looked at what I did and they, gave me gold stars for points for effort, but ultimately kind of said, why are you still trying to do this? Because at that point, I'd spent a significant amount of time really trying to force a proof of concept that wasn't going to work. The information that I needed to make this even possible didn't exist. It wasn't readily available in Wrike for me to be able to grab. And I was trying to sort of create this whole workaround to be able to fake it. But ultimately, I was creating something that was really just going to be for show. It was never actually going to be functional. And so that was a really important lesson for me. So a couple of tips I'd like to share. Assess your project goals before you start. Is this goal attainable? Do I have all the pieces I need to complete the project? If not, do I know how to get them? And sometimes that means asking yourself those questions along the way. So even though at the beginning it seemed like, yes, I have access to this information, if I had taken a step back, I probably would have realized early on that I actually didn't have as much information as I thought, and that this was not necessarily going to be successful. And that leads us to number 2, know when to quit. How long have I spent on this project? How much longer do I need to complete it? And is there a better use of my time and resources? I think we all can fall into the trap of, well, I've already spent this much time on it, so I just have to double down. I just have to complete it. But sometimes that's not really worth that extra time and effort. If this isn't ultimately going to get you where you need to go, spending more time on it is not going to help you. So sometimes you need that step back to say, actually, I've done as much as I can do. This isn't going to be, I'm not going to get the results that I need from this, and I should spend my time and energy elsewhere. But it's also really important to remember that sometimes the win is the learning, not the outcome. So even though I did not get my custom connector to work, I was super excited to really dig into the API pieces. And I understood things that honestly I really didn't think. I got a lot farther than I thought I would. And I was really excited about geeking out on this. And so that was definitely a benefit. And then also getting that sense of remembering that it's really great to spend time playing and learning, and that is actually like, and experimenting, and that is such an important part of learning, and especially when you're working with a new tool or with new technology. But it's also good to sometimes or periodically check in along the way and make sure that you're still headed in the right direction. And definitely, spend time with, talking things out with other people, because they can really give you a sense of whether you're heading in the right direction or maybe there are some things that you've missed. So I hope this helps. Lessons learned, and happy geeking out.